Imagine a girl, no more than 9 years old. Her hands still small, her voice still the fragile tone of childhood, yet she carried a secret that would horrify even the most hardened doctor. She was pregnant, not by a boy her age, not by the distant stranger of a violent crime, but by her own blood, by her uncle. This isn't a rumor whispered in passing, or a ghost tale meant to frighten children into obedience. It is a documented case buried deep in the archives of America's forgotten places. A story of poverty, isolation, and silence so thick that no one dared speak of it for decades. The girl's life was not her own, her innocence consumed by the same family that should have protected her, and the world around her looked away. In the early 20th century, when doctors, school teachers, and ministers encountered cases like these, the record-keeping was vague, the language clinical, the details hidden behind polite euphemisms. But beneath the softened words lay the raw truth. Communities across America knew of inbred families. They knew of fathers marrying daughters, of cousins producing entire lineages, of children born with crooked faces, twisted spines, and minds forever marked by the sins of their parents. Yet, they let it continue. The girl at the center of this story was different. Her case spread briefly, whispered by those who stumbled across it, because her condition was too shocking to ignore. She was not just a product of inbreeding, she was the living embodiment of a cycle of corruption and secrecy that had persisted for generations. Her body carried proof of everything a community wanted to bury, and so they buried her story instead. Tony, Gat, we're going to exhume it. This is not simply the story of a child. It is the story of what happens when isolation collides with desperation, when families turn inward to preserve bloodlines, and when silence becomes the most dangerous weapon of all. What you are about to hear will disturb you, not because it is strange, but because it happened, and because pieces of it still happen today, in places people dare not look. The town where this story unfolded was small, almost invisible on a map, one of those Appalachian or rural southern places where every face was familiar, and yet secrets could stretch like shadows across generations. Poverty pressed down hard. Families worked the soil with hands cracked by sun and hunger. Education was scarce, and outsiders rarely came. In places like this, bloodlines twisted inward, turning in on themselves like a snake devouring its own body. The girl belonged to a family already marked by whispers. They lived on the edge of the community, both geographically and socially. Their home was little more than a shack patched together with rotting wood and rusted tin. To neighbors, they were a